with a fucking dick. Look at me. Look me in the fucking eye. Hey! You fuck! Look me in the eye. You're my bitch. I rule this fucking kingdom. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we're going to get straight to the point. My son has uploaded another video spreading lies again. For the new people who don't know who the Comic Curator is, make sure to look at my previous video exposing all the lies about him, and make sure to look at Red X's 2 videos because he also explains what else he's done. So without further ado, debunking the Comic Curator part infinity to the 6th power. Yeah, and he's going to be using the same arguments that I've already seen before. This time I'm going to have to use the same arguments that I've been using to debunk your stupid ass.
Yeah, denying the actual source material and the guidebooks is just what you goofs do, because you can't do anything else. How are you using guidebooks and translations, but you're changing what the guidebooks and translations are for the most important things? That's because you're goofs and you can't.
Goku this, Goku that. How about your goofy ass go get a fucking girlfriend? Alright, yeah, let's get to debunking this. So what Comic Curator is showing is a statement from Daizatsu 7 that is showing that there are galaxies that exist infinitely throughout the universe. The Comic Curator's previous argument that he keeps using is that Mujani is referring to eternal and not infinite in spatial quantity. But that's already contradictory due to the fact that they're using infinite and not eternal, because eternal would be referring to a temporal infinity. Meanwhile, infinite is referring to a spatial qualitative infinity. And you also don't create administrative units because things are old. You create these divisions because there is a large amount or an infinite amount. Hence why the Kai's created these 4 divisions, because there's an infinitely large amount of galaxies that these Kai's need to supervise. The north, south, east, and west galaxies are just territorial terms for the 4 areas of the universe. And I know Comic Curator is going to say something like changing the definition of galaxy. No, that's not changing the definition. We're just using these words in different terms, because in fiction, you can use different words to imply different terms. For example, the term world has been used for not only planets, but for dimensions, space-times, galaxies, and anything that refers to space or realm as a whole. The fact that the Milky Way not only exists, but Jocko saying there are plenty more galaxies other than the Milky Way, this would directly contradict your claim of there being 4 galaxies. So what have we got from this section alone? There are an infinite amount of galaxies in the Dragon Ball universe, and these divisions are created for the Kais to supervise the infinite amount of galaxies that are in the universe. Context and the definition of the kanjis really matter, and not just your wild ass interpretation, Comic Curator.
Wait, did you ever notice how all of the scalars sound like this, and they all talk like this with a monotone voice with absolutely no inflection at all, and they think that this is totally normal? It's not normal. It's a symptom of taking risperidone, which—
yeah, nah, this is some logic that does not follow at all. People have different ways of talking, but that does not mean that they are taking antipsychotic. What the hell? You can't say somebody's mentally ill just by the tone of their voice. That's like saying that you're a robber just by the color of your skin. And fun fact, did you ever notice about Comic Curator and 90% of his videos is that 99% of the time he's just yapping his ass off and not showing actual evidence, which is actually pretty crazy. That's just a symptom that you do not know what you're talking about and you're just stalling so you can get more screen time. That actually made me crack up because I don't know why the fuck he actually say that, bro. Like, he's just doing unnecessary shit at this point.
Dragon Ball Z only has 4 galaxies because the author had dementia and Akira Toriyama had severe memory problems.
Yeah, that is true. That Toriyama did have a hard time remembering what he wrote and had a really consistent problem of forgetting. But that does not justify that there's only 4 galaxies. Because not only did Toriyama say that the Daizenshu and the Chozenshu are reliable, the Daizenshu and the Chozenshu directly contradict the 4 galaxies claim. I've shown this plenty of times in my videos, and Comic Curator has been trying to debunk this with ChatGPT and his own interpretation, when he doesn't actually take the time to see what the context is of the kanji and what the kanji's meaning is. I expected Israel GPT to actually come up with some valid evidence that is actually interesting to debunk, since he's already made like 4 or 3 videos of this same evidence. Now I'm just not convinced at all that he does not know how to read.
Galaxy is not a giant galaxy with infinitely more galaxies. It's a collection of nebula, period.
This has to be the strawman of doom and despair. no, in one point of time have we ever said that it is a large galaxy with many different galaxies in it. Because not only does that not make sense, I don't think it's logically possible for galaxies to exist in another galaxy. What we said is that the 4 galaxies are just names for the 4 sections of the universe. That doesn't mean that it's one big galaxy. It just means that there's different areas with different amount of galaxies inside them. And the fact we're using a North Galaxy, East Galaxy, South Galaxy, West Galaxy as just territorial terms for these 4 directions. This is the simplest shit to ever understand. But hey, I think Comic Curator might be a Dragon Ball fan. Because you know, as the agenda says, Dragon Ball fans cannot read.
It's over. Stop. You're done. You lost. Just let it go. Let it go and stop the coping and stop crying. The word quadrant means 4. How do you not know what the word quadrant means? And you're talking about all this education.
This has to be the most pathetic attempt at debunking I've ever seen, but sure, I will educate you once again. So what is the definition of a quadrant exactly? The definition of a quadrant is one of 4 quarters in a circle. Your evidence specifically also showed that quadrant is at least 25% of a circle. That's directly what they are entailing. That each of these so-called galaxies, those are just areas that hold those infinite amount of galaxies inside them. So this little thing, oh yeah, this is the real definition of it. You basically just didn't prove anything. And I don't know if he wants to hear this from me, because not only has he ducked me multiple times, but he also made a random account, a random goon pretend to be me and faked a debate win. This is his 2nd time doing it. But I will say this, right? I don't think you have this so-called 30 years of knowledge that you actually claim to have, because in each of these videos, you're just proving time and time again that not only do you use ChatGPT to back up your so-called knowledge, you just don't get the context of any of the skins that you even provide. By the way, for what I said about him making an account or getting a random goon to be me, make sure to look at my last video, because I pretty much exposed all of that in that last 25-minute video that he's still not gonna look at.
Goku even scans the universe and only sees 4 galaxies. Why is this such a big deal? Why are you lying about this in 2026? Why do you keep using the argument of quadrants? The galaxies are quadrants. The galaxies are... Yes, they are, and there's only 4. When you say that they're quadrants, you're debunking yourself. Why do you do this? Stop.
Yeah, I apologize to my fans that you had to hear like 30 seconds of him yapping. I know your eardrums are probably absolutely fucked up, but hey, let's go ahead and debunk this, right? So he claims that Goku scanned the entire universe, but this will be very contradictory, because if he did scan the entire universe for Beerus, he will already have located Vegeta's key on Beerus's planet and instant transmission there. Not only the fact that what Goku scanned was not only 4 galaxies, but a nebulae, that would just also contradict the fact that Goku was scanning the universe. That means he was really just scaling a portion of the universe. But yeah, I'm gonna say this video low-key should have been 2 minutes at best, but the reason I decided to extend this is because I had a really fun time debunking this, because this shit made me crack up, and I wanted to do it to entertain you guys. All right, another video has been debunked, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.